Something told me to dress nice today, and I still decided to dress like a scrub. So it's okay, girl.
You have black excellence on your shirt. I feel like
True.
more than one.
Okay, you ready?
When you are.
Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jess, and you're listening to Serenade Radio. Today on the show, I have OC. Okay, and OC is a manager for the culture. Tell me a little bit about how you met the crew and how you became an artist manager.
Oh man, so artist management kind of stems back. I've been doing artist management for about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
The artists that I currently manage are Malaysia Ray, J Kings, Saul Scott Clutch, and Queen Royal. Queen Royal just joined with us like last month. And honestly, it's been an amazing experience full of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because managing so many different personalities, you learn a lot about them and you learn a lot about yourself as well.
So, like, what does the job entail? Like, what would you say, if there was a job description, what does an artist manager do specifically?
Man, everything. starting out, you do everything. So kind of like just, managing everything from bookings to helping them build a brand, to helping them establish themselves as an artist, like finding their voice and who they are. And like we were talking about earlier, like what differentiates you from the other artists out here, because there are so many artists. So like what makes you stand apart, to helping them manage their personal lives.
Yes. So do you help out with like putting together the music videos and stuff like that too?
So I have done some video production with the artists that I work with. I typically can help them, find a creative direction and create visuals. I don't film them myself, but I'll do creative directing of videos.
So yeah, you also are a graphic designer, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing that? And tell me about how that merges with your management.
So I say that the two kind of like fall hand in hand. I've been doing web design and online marketing for 7 years now. 7 years. I started doing web design about 10 years ago though. So I've been in the game a while, and the reason why I feel like they follow hand in hand is because artists need to learn how to market themselves like a brand and establish themselves as a brand. And working with a lot of business owners, I have a lot of experience doing that. So now I'm able to like take what I've learned with marketing and business strategies and help the artists to apply that towards their craft. Therefore, they can be more accessible and not depend on outside entities. And I'm able to help with them with things like press kits and artist websites and graphics. So we keep a lot of work in house.
So are you self-taught or did you go to school for it?
I went to school for it, but over the past few years, because like the game is ever changing. So like what I went to school for with web design and graphic design, so much has changed since then. It's like you're constantly teaching yourself new ways to adapt to society today, like marketing.
So so tell me about how do you manage your stress? Because I'm sure that you do a lot. That's a lot of managing to do. So how do you find time for yourself and your family with all the people that you're managing and the freelance designing, and also you have an event coming up, so where do you find time for yourself?
Finding time for myself is kind of hard. My nails aren't done right now. It's probably been like a few weeks since I got them done, but I'm working on that. But really my number one thing is family. So like just being able to like, I'll do certain things. I practice kind of certain strategies like at like around 10, 11 o'clock, I'll turn my phone on silent. So if you try to call me or text me, I won't get it until I look at my phone. But that helps me because I literally have clients calling me 11, 12 o'clock, texting me 1 o'clock in the morning, and I tell them, hey, it's not being rude, but my business hours are from this time to this time for OC Designs. My artist management is a little bit different because, artists do have shows that'll be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So if I know my artist has something going on, I'll make myself available. But I typically turn my phone on Do Not Disturb at around 10. And then weekends, I really tailor just towards spending time with my families. And I try not to do any working unless it's something, important, like this interview, this is important. But like all morning I was with my kids, and then when I go home, I'll be chilling with them.
So do you have like a routine, like a set morning routine to keep yourself balanced?
I do have like a schedule that I've created. So like from like when the time I wake up to like midday, 12 o'clock, I'll spend that time specifically working on like my OC design, so like my websites and my graphics, and I'll break it up from there. So I'll be like 12 to 3 straight artist management. So I'll just be what can I do? What do my artists need right now? And then after that it'll be okay. What event do I have coming on? I kind of like try to block out each day, and I feel like that's most important because at the end of the day, you gotta keep yourself on a schedule, especially when you're working towards higher goals of having to take on more. It's being able to balance what you have right now and make it work.
Yes, absolutely. Do you get stressed out about it?
Some days can be stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some days
what do you think
stressful.
is the most stressful part about being an artist manager?
Honestly, I don't really say any areas of it are stressful in itself because I know that the job comes with a lot. Like just so many different personalities and, dealing with, things that come up like, today and stuff like that. So it's like you have to know to expect anything. It's just how you're going to approach the situation. So it can be uneasy at times.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. Like so what I'm learning personally is that you can't have any expectations of people. Like, don't expect anything at all, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, if I schedule an interview, hypothetical. So if I hypothetically schedule an interview with somebody and they don't show up, hypothetically, I can't expect, even though I scheduled it, I still can't expect them to come. I still have to, have no expectations. Yeah. So it's like, whether they come or they don't come, my mood can't be changed. That's what I had to learn is, I can't let my decisions be based off of other people. You know what I mean?
Because we're all individuals at the end of the day, and we have things going on, and we all process things differently. So what you may feel like is the right way to go about things, the next person might not feel the same way. Right. So if you let that other person's way of thinking affect your energy, gosh,
you'll always be dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God, I had to learn the hard way that you have to protect your energy at all costs. Because if not, you're always gonna, for example, for me personally, I'm an empath. Okay. So what I learned about being an empath is sometimes you'll feel emotions that are not even yours. Yeah. So for example, if I go to work and the person next to me is having a really bad day and I come to work with a happy attitude, I'll start to have a bad day just because they're having a bad day and they're near me. Just because I believe energy is real. So just the proximity that we're in, we're so close together that I'll feel what you feel and I'll take on the emotions. It's kind of I don't know how to compare it, but it's it gets passed on to me and then I'll pass it on. It's contagious, like a sickness basically. So what I had to learn is sometimes you have to protect your energy by, so this is how you feel, but that doesn't mean I have to take that emotion with me. I just have to, I love you from a distance. You know, when you're having your bad days and you're feeling crabby, so that's my cue to be okay, I gotta this is how I approach this person. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, what are some lessons that being a manager has taught you?
Good question.
Just life lessons. What have you learned about yourself through working with so many artists?
That I feel at the end of the day, nothing is impossible. Networking is key. I would definitely say before I started doing artist management, I was to myself, I didn't really talk to anybody. I was just you probably wouldn't even know who I was. Right. If I walked in the room. And then from doing artist management, it's no, you can't, as much as you want to be behind the scenes, you got to be up front too. People have to know who you are, you have to network, you have to meet people. So I think that was one of the most important things for me.
It broke you out your shell?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I feel you. I can say the same for sure. Because I used to be very, quiet.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, once I started to like what I do, I'm oh, this is, this is itchy.
Yeah, I'm used to this.
So, tell me about the event that you have coming up.
So we have the Back to School Music Fest coming up, and this is our second year doing it. It went phenomenal the last time around, so this year I have a really, really good feeling about everything. What I've learned to do because I do event coordination for people too, so what I learned from doing event coordination is each time you do it, you're gonna learn how to do something better. every time you do something, you know, you're gonna learn a lesson and you're gonna be more prepared next time around. So I feel like this time around, we're like really prepared to like make it like one of the like the biggest school supply drives in Central Florida. I've done my research. This is definitely the biggest one. I've done my research. The last year we did about 1,500 students got school supplies through our RSVP. So what we have is we have an RSVP on Eventbrite. And if you RSVP your youth, whether it's elementary, middle school, or high school, they'll automatically be guaranteed to leave with school supplies. So we set the bar this year for 3,000.
3,000 students? That's twice the amount.
Twice the amount.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So
you are the curator behind all of the.
Pretty much, yeah. My partner Queen Millie, you know, she does help out with a lot. And you know, I have a strong team, so you know, everybody kind of does their part to make everything fall together. But as far as like, you know, a number one point of contact, it would definitely be me.
Okay, so who is the founder of For the Culture? I've been wondering this for the longest.
Derek.
Derek! Oh my God, yeah, okay. So tell me, do you know about the birth, like the history behind it? I want to know a little bit about the history.
I don't, man. It started a while ago, and it started off with, you know, it's always been about for the people. So it's about, you know, giving entrepreneurs, musicians, you know, business owners, creatives a platform to shine. So that's what it's always been about. So it started off as just, you know, interviews with individuals. Then it turned into the talk show. So then we would have multiple people come on. And
I'm a big fan, by the way.
It's so cool. It like just being able to be a part of it, you know, and work with Derek has been a blessing for me. You know, the talk show has gotten so much like great feedback as far as in like our live events, and then we do like the showcases. So we're always giving artists a platform, and now we have like the top 4 artists of the week. So it's ever evolving.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Completely not the same as when it started, but I feel like all of it has just been growth overall.
So do you guys still do the talk show, or you know, like you do things in phases?
Yeah,
like
so
you think you'll come back to it?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's kind of like, you know, how can we bring it back and how can we make it 10 times better than when we did it before? So like we've been doing a lot of interviews and we've been doing the top 4 artists of the weekend. We're in prep for bringing the live talk show back, but it's all about having everything fall into place, like having the best physical location to do the talk show. You know, that best benefits all parties, and then making sure all of our hosts are in the right area in their lives to be able to execute something on a weekly basis. It's a lot of components, you know, involved in it. For sure.
And you know what? It's so funny because I looked up to For the Culture for so long, and then when I got an email that said For the Culture Management, listen.
Oh my God,
I can't make this up. I literally jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh my God, like I look up to you guys so much. It's crazy. Cool, so I was like fangirling, like, wow, they recognize Serenade Radio, like my little old show.
Absolutely, man.
Like,
nah, it's not little at all. What you're doing is big, and you have to see it as that. You know?
Sure.
You're giving people a platform. Something that's gonna forever be in their history, in their archive.
For sure. So, what is in the future for the culture? What, like, in 10 years from now, what do you see? Say you're Raven and you see the vision.
Honestly, where I see us going is I see us having our own broadcast channel and being like you know how they have like Jesus and
like
Vero
Revolt?
and but bigger.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, like Like you see how like Jesus and Mira have their live talk show and they're like on HBO, and then you hear like the Jimmy Kimmels and stuff like that. That's where we see ourselves going ultimately.
Well, I am in full support, and I give you all the hats off that I could possibly give you. Jay, do you have any questions for OC before we wrap up?
I mean, you do a really good job, so not really, but I could talk to OC for ever, years, and still have questions.
Honestly.
Nah, I think I'm pretty much just, for yourself personally, how long do you see, you know, like what is the next chapter for you? I know what your vision for the culture is, but where does, because I know you, in addition to being amazing in everything you do, you're also an amazing mother. You're also really an inspiration to a lot of, especially female entrepreneurs in the city. What's next? Like, What's your 5-year plan? Where are we gonna see you next? Just OC as an individual. Like, I don't want to pick your brain.
That's a hard question. You know, I don't know. I have such huge visions, and they incorporate a lot of different pieces. I really love doing artist management, artist development. I would definitely say like music is like my core. My kids are even so involved in my music. Like it's something that's intergenerational, because my mom did what I was doing before me, and it's funny because we just had dinner the other day, and she was like, wow, Shay, it's so weird seeing you doing what I was doing, but bigger. And I was like, oh, she called it bigger. Like, Mom, you were on Hot 97 working and stuff like that. I'm not there yet, but, you know, I don't know. I just see, horticulture management. I see a label developing. I'm working on getting the funding to be able to, like, just 100% back my artists. Because while I do have right now the option of getting my artists signed to, like, any label, because I have, like, A&R affiliations, I want to be the one that's kind of like setting that foundation, you know. So if I can keep everything in house, ultimately that's my goal. So I do want to have a label situation, but I know that's in years to come, because it's lining everything up to get there. So we start off with the artist development and management, because I have the 4 artists, but I have other artists that just do artist development services. So it's continuing to build that platform. I see myself having a huge office, you know. OC Designs is going to be big. It's going to be a platform to hire entrepreneurs. So I'm still looking to hire web designers and graphic designers to continue to build this brand, because, you know, you can only do so much by yourself. I do have, you know, people that I have helping, but I just plan to grow. You'll definitely be seeing a location coming from me within the next year or so. I'll have a physical location where it'll be like web design development and artist management services and all that in one office, and that's what I'm going for. And at the end of the day, as long as my kids are good and I'm able to create a solid foundation, I'm good with it, because I know there's something that they're going to be able to inherit, so that they won't have to go out and work for somebody else. Because I know, like, that's the number one thing that was taught to me growing up, is being an entrepreneur. Like, my mom and my dad, they worked for themselves, they had their own businesses, and it was kind of like I started off doing that, but I actually haven't had a physical job in about 4 years. So it's not easy. And by way, is it not easy? It's a everyday grind and a hustle, and it's like you get no sleep sometimes. I'll be up till 4 in the morning working at days, but I know that I'm setting a foundation so that my kids can inherit it, and therefore they don't have to go out and seek opportunities from other people. It'll already be there for them, if that makes sense. So
I love that you mentioned your mom. You're kind of a legacy kid when it comes to this. Your mom used to work for Hot 97. But I don't think it's an accident that you're here, because Orlando is one of the most creative communities I've ever.
Facts.
I love it.
It's insane. Everybody's a fucking artist out here. I love it. Any advice for, I guess, sometimes you're not aware that, like, the career that you want is like a thing, and so you never think like, oh, I can be a manager, or I can do artist development. Like, any advice for the young kid that's listening right now and would really love to even. Of course, they want to get to where you're at, but they want to, like, find what's the best way to get started. Like, how do I just jump off the porch and, you know, link up with these artists and start building those relationships that can put the artists that I'm working with in a better position?
I would say networking is key. I would say going out to different events, whether you think that it's specifically tailored to you or not. Like, I go to different events. Like, I go to an accounting seminar just to go out there and meet people. I'm gonna learn something, but I'm gonna connect with people who I would have never ever met before. Networking is so important. Finding mentors, finding people that can teach you and help guide you along the way is important. So if you see somebody that's in the area doing, like, what you want to be doing, whether it's artist management, whether it's being a football player, whether it's, you know, being a musician, find someone that you look up to and reach out to them. Because 9 out of 10 times people are willing to, you know, help you to reach your goals if they have time. You know, some people, you know, but it never hurts to reach out, because I wouldn't be where I am today and where I was 3 years ago without having great mentors, and I feel like that's important.
And to piggyback off of what Jay was saying, I feel like we grew up thinking, okay, I have to just pick one job for the rest of my life. Like, when it starts up when we're kids, like, they ask you, okay, hey Jimmy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then Jimmy has to say, oh, I want to be a firefighter, and then that's all he could be. Like, you know, like, you just have to stick to that. Like, of course it changes over time, but we believe that we have to just do one thing for our whole lives and be really phenomenal at that one thing. But sometimes Jimmy is interested in firefighting, but he also wants to rap.
Yeah.
But maybe he likes to cook too. Maybe he likes to cook and rap.
Maybe he likes fashion.
Maybe he likes fashion. So you don't have to necessarily choose between, oh, I can only be a cook, but I can't rap, or oh, I can only be one thing my whole life. Like, no, that's not true. You could literally merge, and I've seen people do it, just like how you're doing it. Like, you merge both of your talents, you merge both of your passions together and have both. So I think that's what we need to start.
The last question, because you're also, obviously, if you haven't picked up, you're also a huge inspiration to me. Starting next year, I'm kind of following in your footsteps with a little venture that we have on this side.
I know
I'm really stuck up. Like, I can't just work with anybody. Like, I'm very particular with who I give my time to. Or how do you decide your roster? Because you're when you look at horticulture management, that's a very unique kind of makeup in terms of the people that you're working with and who you have on your team. So how did that team come together? Were you deliberate in, like, all right, I'm gonna get a sauce guy and then I'm gonna get how does and where does it stop? Like, how do you know when I have 5 artists, I'm not getting a 6th. Like, I have to focus on my 5 right now.
Okay, so that's kind of like the hardest part. And let me say salute to you, because I see what you're doing and the management and the label, and I love it. You know, I thought you just talking about it. But hey, I already know. But like, salute to you. I love what you're doing. And for me, it's like, okay, so I manage 4 artists right now, and I have artists and artist development, and I really differentiate the two because they're 2 completely different programs. Like, artist development is more of a service that I'm providing to help you get ready for management, versus the management, you know, I'm your full-fledged manager. As far as in, like, my roster, it can be hard because I get so many artists that hit me up, like, on the horticulture page every day, like, looking for management. But not every artist is ready for management at the time. And, you know, being an artist manager is a huge investment, time, financially, mentally. So it's bringing on individuals that you see are 100% serious about their craft and who are talented. But then having a roster where it's like nobody sounds the same and everybody's in their own lane. So I can put Queen and Sauce and J Kings on a show together and it'll be like, whoa, it'll be like a dope show because they all have their different sounds. Like, you know, Queen is a female rapper and she spits bars versus Malaysia, who's a singer, and she's R&B. So the 2 of them they're not gonna clash in any point in time. And I can put them on a song together and it'll be fire, you know? So I leave it to God. He brings these artists to me. I check them out. You know, I look at everything from, like, what shows have you been doing? You know, what are you doing right now? I ask them, like, what's your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself in the next few years? I really pick their brains, you know, and I learn them first. So before I sign an artist to me as management, we have like a honeymoon period or like a trial period where it's like, we're working together, but you're not under paperwork yet because I want to see how serious you're taking this. And then one thing I tell my artists is, you know, I don't have a problem ever investing in you, but I have to see you're willing to invest in yourself first. So, like, if I see that you're willing to, you know, invest in getting your website and, you know, your press kit and stuff like that and taking these steps, and you're willing to put forth, you know, to make sure you have all your licensing together and stuff like that, I don't mind investing in you financially, but I have to see that you're serious at the end of the day. So that's one thing I can say about all my artists, is they do take it very serious. So me, you know, me giving them my energy and my time, it feels worthwhile. Cause we always talk about, like, investments and, like, what like our investments, like, you know, and a lot of times people say stocks and bonds and stuff like that, but my investment is in these artists. It's like, you guys are gonna, like, you already have to have the mentality that these artists that you're working with are gonna blow. Like, in some way, shape, or form, they're gonna do good numbers. Because if not, why are you investing in them, right? You have to. So it's like, you know, even the new artist I just brought on as, you know, artist development in Lingo, like, he's fire. And he's on the artist development, but I'm pretty sure we'll move past the stage and I'll be bringing him on as a full-time artist. And as far as in, like, what you said about, you know, how many artists can you manage, I've capped myself right now at managing the 4 artists myself and then having the artist development just because it requires a lot of time, and it wouldn't be fair for me to rightfully be managing more artists, and I feel like I could hands-on manage at this point in time. But then it comes to building a team. So I've been looking, and I actually have a lot of applications. I just put out an ad the other day to basically bring on some
road managers.
Yeah, exactly, like road managers and people that like to be on the scene, because you know, you like to be everywhere, but like my artists have so many shows. They have a show tonight, a show tomorrow, like 2 shows coming up this week. You know, so bringing on someone else to help offset. Bringing on someone else will enable me to basically bring on more talent, but it's not just anybody; it's the right ones.
Yes,
it's the most important.
So from the artist perspective, to go back to that very first question we talked about before we started, like how do they go about getting noticed from an OC, you know, or from a Jen, like from those people who can manage them and bring them, you know, like the level,
basically.
Yeah, like how do we go about that if we're an artist?
I would say it just starts by reaching out, honestly, reaching out and seeing like, you know, reaching out to someone like myself, you know, just having a conversation, letting us know like where you are. And, you know, at the end of the day, for any artist, I would just say, be unique to you. Be unique to you. That's how you'll stand out the most. You know, the minute you try to sound like the next artist, or you try to do what you see other artists doing, is the minute you kind of fall into like that crowd of sheeps that everybody's doing the same thing. It's like, stand out, be the wolf, be true to yourself, and someone like myself or another adult manager, we'll see what you're doing and we'll reach out. I reached out to Kings. Kings didn't reach out to me. I saw one of his videos and I was like, yo, who is he? Derek was like, that song. No, he came to one of our shows, but we were featuring one of his videos, and I was like, Derek, who manages this kid? And he was like, I don't think he has a manager. And I was like, yeah, I want to manage him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're doing the right thing, then it'll come across.
Shout out to Kings though, you know, I see you, and we're gonna be eventually, like, even though it, you know, it's like, I believe everything works to the way it's supposed to, so, like, one day, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. It's gonna happen. Exactly. It's just a matter of time. So, any last words before we close this episode?
Just thank you, because, like, you broke down the door and you paved the way for a lot of us, and I appreciate it. If no one else tells you thank you, then thank you.
Oh, and I definitely have to say thank you to you, because, you know, I can't even begin.
Don't cry.
You know me, I'm so dramatic, bro. I'm so dramatic. But seriously, I respect you so much, and I look up to you, and keep doing what you're doing.
Orlando needs you.
That's what I say we do.
Because Orlando is so raw. It's like we need people to actually know what they're doing to kind of like grab a Sauce God and grab a King and be like, hey, you got the talent, but let's make sure your paperwork is together. Let's make sure your head is in the right place so that you can, not get kidnapped by one of these movies and show.
I appreciate you guys, man. It means a lot, and it's always good to hear. You know, I don't, as much as it may seem like I get out a lot, I don't get out much, so I don't really see like the impact that I have on a lot of, you know, the people who I do work with and see on a day-to-day basis. So like, I appreciate you guys, and that's one thing I always say, like, if you appreciate somebody or you see something in somebody, tell them, because a lot of the times we don't, and then, you know what I'm saying, you never know, that person might have needed to hear it. So I love you guys, I love what you're doing. You know, like I told you, I want to sponsor your show because I see what you're doing and I want to help. I want to help amplify it, and however I can do that, you know, I'm here for you. And shout out to you, Jay, because you're doing your thing, man.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Woo-hoo! Great interview.
Thank you guys.